Hi guys, today we're looking at how to save our work properly in Office 2010. If we're going to create work, we're going to need to make sure that firstly we save it so that we don't lose it. Secondly, we know where we save it so that we'll be able to find it later. And thirdly, we name it in such a way that we can always tell what the content is. Alright, so those three things, I've just created a little document here. As you work in an Office 2010 application, so Microsoft Word or Excel or PowerPoint or something, the content that you create is stored in the computer's memory. This memory is only temporary storage. That means that if you turn the computer off or close it without saving, it disappears. To stop this happening, you must save your work when you exit the application or shut down the computer, because otherwise you'll lose whatever is stored in its memory. We can save our files in several ways. Click on the File tab and click Save. Press Ctrl into S, or click the Save button on the Quick Access toolbar. The first time we save a file, then the application prompts us to enter a name for it in the Save As dialog box, and then you can change the save location if you want something other than the default. So let's see it in action. Go back up to here, click the File tab and click Save. You'll notice before we do that it says up here Document 1 Microsoft Word. It has no name, it hasn't been saved. So, click the File tab, click Save. Alright? What it's doing is it's saying, right, you haven't saved this before, so this is what's called a Save As dialog box. In here we have the location, we have the library, we have the file name, and we have the type of file that we want to save it as. So, what do we call it? How to save your work in Office 2010 sounds about right. Where do we save it? I want to save it on the desktop so that I can find it later. If I don't want to, I can go to My Documents, find a folder that I want to save it in. Any folder at all, it doesn't matter. Whichever one is yours. But for the time being, we're going to use the desktop. We're going to click Save. Alright? You'll notice that the name up here, How to Save Your Work in Office 2010, is now saved. If I go to the desktop, and look for it, there it is there. How to Save Your Work, Office 2010. Double click it to open it up, eventually. And there we are. Okay. Secondly, we could have pressed Ctrl S. So let's do that. I'm just going to copy it like we did in a previous lesson. File, New, Blank Document. Okay. Just going to paste it like we did earlier. Now, you can't see me doing it, but you just have to trust that I am. I'm going to Ctrl S again. This is document 2. There's no name for it. So Ctrl S. Again, dialog box opens up. This time, we're going to call it we'll just call it Control S. I'll be deleting it afterwards anyway. Alright. We'll save it on the desktop so that I can find it later and delete it. Click Save. Job done. It now says Control S. The third way we have of saving that I have mentioned here. Oops. Copy. File. New. Blank document. Right click. Paste again. Okay. Last way is to click Save on the Quick Access toolbar. If you remember, this is our Quick Access toolbar up here. This icon is Save. Okay, same thing. Save As dialog box opens up. Now, we're not going to bother doing that. If I click Don't Save, it's gone. There's the Control S one that we did earlier, and there's How to Save Your Work in Office 2010. I'm going to minimize that. I'm going to delete Control S. So there's Control S. I can right click, press delete, and click Yes. Or I can press delete on my keyboard. Again, trust me that I'm pressing it. There you go. Press yes and delete it. So open up this one again. We're nearly there. Alright, so once we've saved it, it's saved because it has a name up here. If I change it, very important lesson. Okay. And I want to close it. It says, do you want to save changes you made to How to Save Your Work? Yes. So save. Alright? That's it closed. When it closes then, I still know that it's on the desktop here. So if I double click it to open it up, I'll see the change I made. Okay, very simple. Any questions? Just ask. But I want you to practice it. File, save, save as. Save means you're just saving any changes you made. Save as is where you give it a name, tell it where you want to save. Okay? Any questions, just ask. But make sure that you practice.